Hey everyone, thank you so much for all your love on last week's episode. Thank you for all of your lovely messages of congratulations on my 100th episode. Yeah, I am so proud of the fact that I'm now, well, this is 101, but I'm so proud of myself for getting to 100. It was only after the episode last week aired that me and Craig looked it up, and I just wanted to find out a few statistics about podcasts. And it turns out that only 1 to 5% of podcasts ever get to 100 episodes. So, yeah, I do give myself a pat on the back there because I'm just really proud of my determination, my tenacity that has got me to 100 episodes. But the fact is, if I didn't enjoy it, if I didn't have amazing feedback from people, then I just wouldn't do it. So I do it because I love it. And I do it because I know it helps people. I know it helps people because I have so many lovely messages telling me so. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart again for all your lovely messages. And it really does make a difference to me, hearing how it helps people and also hearing what you'd like to know. It helps me decide what to talk about. So today's episode, I am going to be talking about crystals, more about crystals, because we love learning about crystals. Because Sarah, for the 100th episode, Sarah asked lots of questions, different questions about crystals, including how to use them, how to look after them, how to set an intention. So I really thought that covering that in the 100th episode just doesn't give it justice. This needs a full episode. So Sarah, thank you so much for sending me your questions, because you've enabled this episode. Some of it I have covered before, but I think with things like this, you can never hear it too much. So yeah, that's what we're talking about today. Before I start talking about crystals though, just a few things to update. So we had our first session in the membership on Sunday, and it was all about the root chakra. It was all about feeling safe and secure to be motivated, because if our root chakra is out of balance, then we don't feel safe and we don't feel determined to go and chase our dreams, to set things in place that help us stay motivated every day. So that is what we worked on. It was an amazing session. There were many realizations. So yeah, thank you so much for those who joined me. And yeah, if there's going to be more things like that to come in the membership. Now, if you would be interested in joining the membership, then there is a link for the wait list. The membership is going to be open for new members from May. So if you would like to hear more at that time, then please do head over to that link and get your name on the list, and then you will be the first to know when the doors open again in May. If you are like really desperate, if you are a diehard fan and listen every week, then and you really feel gutted that you've missed out, then just send me a message. The doors for founding members is open until Saturday, because on Saturday I'm holding my goal setting workshop for my members only. So if you want to be involved in that, I will be doing it again at a later date, but it's for members only and it's included in the membership, which is actually cheaper than purchasing the goal setting workshop separately. Anyway, that's enough about that. Head over to the link if you like the sound of it. Now, back to crystals. Thanks, Sarah, for your lovely questions. Now, there are so many different ways that we can use crystals. One of the questions that Sarah asked was about setting intentions for your crystals, and this is so important because if you don't set an intention, it's just sat there doing its thing, and it will soak up negative energy, but it won't be putting the right energy back out for you. So it's really important to set an intention. Now, I have got a box of crystals that are like waiting around for me to set an intention, because personally, I find that I work best with crystals when I'm using like 4 or 5 at a time. So the ones that I work with at the moment are, okay, I've got my fairy quartz, which is the one that you can see here. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And it's really good for gentle healing and personal growth. And the placement of your crystal is key to using it. So obviously I've got it here. For a start, I can see it all the time when I'm working on my laptop, as I am now. I can always see it in the background. So I know that its energy is working with me. And given what I do, it's also working with you as well. So considering this is a podcast about personal development and growth, I'm just, my intention for this crystal is to come through to you as well. Like, this is for your personal growth as well. I've just realised I've said that that's behind me. If you're listening to this on Apple or on Spotify, then you can't see it. So you'll have to head over to YouTube if you want to see it. But it's right behind me, and its energy is coming to you. What other ones do I use at the moment? So I've got my selenite, and selenite is brilliant for communication. It mainly works with the third eye and the crown chakra, and it's amazing for enhancing your spirituality. But it is the thing that drew me to selenite originally is not only because of its communication properties. Obviously, I have a podcast, so communication is really key for me. But it's great for Geminis. It's great for self-acceptance. Apparently that's something we struggle with. So I love working with it, knowing that it's helping me accept myself and have clarity in my communication to you. So that is my intention that I've set for it, is to help me communicate clearly when I'm recording my podcast. Another one that I use is blue lace agate, and I quite often have this around my throat chakra. I've got it at the moment tucked in the strap of my bra at the top, near my shoulder, and it's funny, I can actually feel where it's been. So again, blue lace agate is great for communication. It's great for confidence, giving you confidence if you're public speaking. So if you have a meeting to go to and you hate talking in front of groups of people, then blue lace agate is great for that. So that is the intention I've set for it. And then my rose quartz. And this is the rose quartz that I use this is the one that stays under my pillow when I go to bed. Rose quartz is amazing for like gentle self-healing. It's great for self-care. So my rose quartz sleeps under my pillow, and the intention that I've set my rose quartz is to help me have a relaxing, refreshing, good night's sleep. And I think I've mentioned in the past, if I don't sleep with it under my pillow, I really notice the difference on my shoulders. So it really does help me to relax, along with all the lavender that I whack all over me, all over my forehead and shoulders before I go to sleep. So yeah, it's okay to have loads of crystals, but when you set an intention with them, it's really good to work with that crystal and to really engage with it, if that makes sense. So how can you engage with a crystal? But hopefully you know what I mean by that. If you've got too many crystals on the go, I mean, you might be different. This might just be me. But if I've got too much on the go, this goes with things in general as well, I guess, then I cannot focus on what it's meant to be doing. So I do find just having those 4 at the moment, I mean, those might change. Quite often I will change it up. But those are the 4 that I'm really, really working with at the moment. So different ways that you can use your crystals. As I've said, under your pillow, a nice soft healing. A lot of people sleep with amethyst, but sleeping with them under your pillow or next to your bedside is a great way for its energy to work with you when you're relaxing. You can keep them on your person. So as with the one that's in my shoulder strap at the moment, it really helps to have them close to a place where it's going to work with the chakra. Oh, it's just slipped down. To work with the chakra that it's aligned with. So obviously, as I said, with the blue lace, it works with the throat chakra. So I need to have it in that area. Unfortunately, sometimes I do sit with it there, but it just slips down a lot. I'm just going to leave it there for now, to be honest. I know that it's working. Okay. So one thing to be aware of, obviously, if you are keeping them on your person, if you are wearing them in your clothes, obviously you can wear them on jewelry, which is great. But if they are, like I've had them in my trouser pocket before, and if I'm down for a wee, I pull my jeans down really quickly and it falls down the toilet. Like that's not great energy for it, in my opinion. So just be aware that of it falling out, of it getting mixed up in the washing, and then you accidentally wash it in the washing machine. Some crystals aren't good with working with water. So just bear that in mind. Make sure you keep it safe. Another way you can work with crystals or use your crystals is to use them to heal plants or to enhance your plant's growth. So at the moment, I have a plant that is struggling. I haven't had it in the right position, to be honest. It needs a lot of light. Many of the house plants that I use don't need an awful lot of sunlight, but this one does. And so I am on a mission to restore it back to health. So I'm currently using green aventurine in it. There are loads of different types that you can use to help your plants, like citrine, rose quartz, amethyst. They're all good. Sodalite, they're all good for working with plants. As you can imagine, they all have different properties. So just have a little Google to see which ones will work best with what you want it to do. But the green aventurine, it's not this plant here, because look at that. That is thriving. That's only a year old. But yeah, green aventurine is amazing for restoring it back to vitality, which is obviously what I want it to do. You can have a bath with your crystals. Now, as I mentioned, not all crystals are safe to use in water. So I think a general rule of thumb is if it's a smooth surface, then they are usually safe to be in water. If they are a rough surface, then not so much, because you'll find that they might crumble. Yeah, we don't want that happening. So it is an amazing thing to do if you can have a bath with crystals. Like, water is an amazing, what do you call it? Water is an amazing conductor. Is that the right word? I'm not really sure. But if you think how electricity and water work together, I'm not suggesting you put electricity in your water, but it's amazing for carrying energy. So if you find a crystal that is suitable to use in water, having it in your bath will dispel the energy throughout the water, and obviously the benefits of that are amazing. So if you're having a bath with crystals, knowing that the energies and the properties of that particular crystal are working with your energy. But also, water is amazing for carrying away energy as well. So when you let the bath water out, stay in the bath, take the plug out, and allow the water to drain away any negative energy. There are so many more ways that you can use your crystals, like placing them in the room around you, like in a place that you know it needs that energy. There are so many different ways, but those are my favourite ways. So, cleansing your crystals. Now, there is a difference between cleansing and charging your crystals. Obviously, cleansing your crystal takes out all the negative energy that is picked up. Recharging your crystal puts positive energy back in it. So, I have got different favourite ways of doing both. And you can, there are ways that do both of those things. That do cleanse and charge your crystals at the same time. So let's just go through a few of those. So cleansing your crystals. The best way that I like to cleanse the energy of my crystals is to use a sage stick. And I literally light the sage stick until it either smokes or has got a flame. Then you blow out the flame, so then you're left with the smoke. And just hold your crystal, rotate it above the smoke, so the smoke covers the crystal. And I imagine the smoke taking away all the negative energy from my crystal. Like, you can see the smoke engulfing around your crystal, and just imagine it taking the energy away. That's my favourite way. You can also use Palo Santo to do this. Palo Santo is also good for positive energy. Sage is good for releasing negative energy. Palo Santo is good for positive energy. You can rinse your crystals underwater to cleanse them. Now, obviously, I've already mentioned about crystals that are safe to be in water. You don't really want to be running crystals that are not safe to be in water under the tap. So that's not really my favourite way to do it, to be honest with you. Also, if you run it under the tap, you've got all the chemicals in your tap water that I don't think can be any good for your for cleansing the energy of your crystal. You can put them out in rainwater. Obviously, again, going back to the ones that are safe to use in water. But I like the thought of doing it in rainwater. I've not actually done this, to be honest with you, but the thought of the rain taking away the energy, a bit like what I just said with the smoke, taking away the negative energy. But the rainwater obviously goes back into the ground. And so it's taking the negative energy to the ground. It's sending it back to the earth. And we know how amazing the earth is for getting rid of negative energy. Another way to cleanse your crystals is to use a cleansing crystal. Selenite, amethyst, and clear quartz are amazing for taking away negative energies of other crystals. So I haven't got it with me at the moment, it's over there on my other desk, but I've got a amethyst, which is probably about the size of my fist, and I like to pop some of my little crystals, my little tumblestone crystals, on top of it to take away any negative energy that is picked up. But obviously you then need to cleanse that crystal. Many of them are self-cleansing. I think selenite is self-cleansing, but I still like to cleanse it anyway. This makes sense to me. Grounding your crystals is a good way to cleanse them as well. So people say about burying them in the ground. I'd be worried about losing them, to be honest. But if you pop them on the grass, then the negative energy will again be soaked into the earth. The earth will take the negative energy away. This is also a really good way to charge your crystals as well. So the crystal will take the positive energy that comes back up from the earth. My favourite way to charge crystals is in the moonlight. And you can also do this in the sun as well. But I find that I don't like to do this because the sun can make some crystals fade. So for me, if a crystal fades in colour, it loses its potency as well. Whether that's true or not, I might just be completely making that up. I'm not sure, but prefer to put them out in the moonlight. You can also put them in the window. So if you don't want to leave them outside, like if you're worried it's going to rain or you just don't want to leave them outside, you can leave them in the window. The window, it will still soak up the energy from the moon. And that just recharges it with positive energy. Now, you want to do this to your crystals, like cleansing them, charging them. You want to do this frequently, not too frequently, because it is really important to reset an intention with your crystals once you've recharged them. So just remember that. Just remember that every time you do that, just make sure you set the intention again. But obviously crystals do soak up negative energy. So it is quite important to regularly maintain good health for them. So I would recommend doing this once a month. If you, like me, doing it under the moonlight, then why not just set the full moon every month to be your guideline, because then you know it's been done every 28 days. And even if you can't see the moonlight, so even if it's a cloudy night and you can't see the moonlight, just know that the energy of the moon is still doing its magic. It's still working its magic. So it doesn't matter if it's cloudy. It doesn't matter if it's raining. Your crystal will still be being recharged by the energy of the moon. It's also, I think I touched on this last week, but it's also a really good idea to set an intention to certainly cleanse them, recharge them, and set an intention with them when you buy them. Because imagine how many people might have, especially if you've got it from a shop, imagine how many people have picked it up, it's soaked up their negative energy. We don't want that in our lives. So make sure you give it a good cleanse and recharge, and then set your intention for it. So I hope that's been helpful for you. If you want to know more about how different crystals work with different chakras and how they can help with your chakra health, then why not download my chakra PDF? It's free. All I need is your email address and I can email that straight over to you. And it's yours for whenever you want to refer to it. It's a good, really good reference guide. And there is a section about crystals in there, but it also tells you other ways you can look after your chakras as well. So make sure, if you haven't already, make sure you get that free download. There's a link to that in the show notes. Thanks so much for listening today. If you've enjoyed this, please don't forget to give me a like, give me a subscribe, write a review, send me feedback. If you could do one of those things, that would be amazing for my discoverability of this podcast. Obviously, I would love for this podcast to grow and reach as many people as possible. So yeah, thanks for listening. I'll speak to you next week. Have a great week, guys. Bye.